The president calls it the American comeback, but is Wall Street calling it a shift in confidence? The January jobs report stronger than expected, but if you sift through the numbers, it paints a much clearer picture of the American economy. Welcome to the Big Money Show. I'm Dagan McDowell, along with my co-hosts, Taylor Riggs, Brian Brimberg, Jerry Willis, and with us for this hour, Mr. Asman, Fox Business, David Asman.
Thank you very much.
So the government is getting smaller. The private sector is expanding. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says that is not an accident.
This is what we've been setting the table for all of 2025. I've said that repeatedly. We put the necessary ingredients, policies into place, and now they're starting to pay off. And what's more impressive here is the number that you just gave is the total jobs. There were more than 170,000 private sector jobs, and there was about a 40,000 decrease in government jobs. So as I've been saying since this administration came into office, we are reprivatizing the economy.
Secretary Bessent says tax certainty, excuse me, I can't read today. Deregulation and investment incentives are setting the table for success, and the job gains back that up. In a stunning reversal from last January that saw government jobs exploding, now it is sectors like healthcare and construction that are seeing the hiring sprees. David, I could talk about the healthcare job creation all day because that is government jobs. Yep. Directly or indirectly because of the exploding expense of Medicare and Medicaid. But in terms of what the future, even the year ahead looks like, this bodes extremely well.
I think so. I mean, we took it apart yesterday here at the table, and but I think the overall consensus was it was a good report. I mean, first of all, to the privatizing the economy that Bessent was talking about, we are privatizing the economy only as fast as the political process would allow. And right now, the political process is moving like molasses because Democrats are holding up anything they possibly can. It'd be even worse if they won the majority in the midterms. And we still have the hangover from the Biden years and the pandemic itself. We've got the dysfunction of our health care system, which you were alluding to. Obamacare did not return on its promise of lowering health care costs, just the opposite. They're up twice or three times as much as they used to be, even assuming inflation. We still have housing problems. We have a 68% increase in the price of a house since 2019 and a 102% increase in the monthly costs of keeping a house if you have one, when you take in the rising mortgage rates, et cetera. So we do have all these problems, but we have this tremendous growth of the infrastructure because of AI. $7 trillion is going to be spent on data centers over the next 10 years. $7 trillion is a lot of money, a lot of building, a lot of need for extra workers, from sophisticated workers working on all that AI equipment to the regular plumbers and electricians who make things work, make sure things keep working on the data center. So we have all this build out just about to begin. It hasn't yet shown up in the jobs numbers, but I have confidence it will. It's only a matter of time. Will it happen before the midterms? That's a big question.
Well, I'll just follow in a line. I want to talk about this golden age that Trump's talking about, and I think what's going on with taxes is going to be a huge contributor to how the American family feels. The average refund, $3,800 for a median income household, that's a 5% wage hike. I mean, they are getting money right in the pocketbook, and this is equivalent to a typical annual electricity bill. Think about that. Or about half of the annual grocery spending for a family. This is real money that's going to help millions of families across the country. It's going to make them feel better about the economy, which is something we've been waiting for. And so I see that as very positive. Yes, there are some drags, but net, as this year gets underway, people are going to start feeling it.
Can I point out that Scott Bessent used a food analogy to talk about the economy?
Oh,
all the
related to Papa
naysayers
John's?
on this, not pizza,
him off.
But he did use a food analogy. I want to point that out.
we
Great
have a-
minds think alike.
How does Mike? I wish we had a cough button.
You can't. You don't have that. You don't get one of those on set.
No.
Okay, so I love what David and Jerry said. I'm with you on the very positive sunshine view. But let me ask a question. We talked about the wage growth number yesterday. Yes, year over year is 1% real wage gains. I think wage growth is going to be the key this year. If it's big, people feel good. They'll be happy for the midterms. If it doesn't, they won't feel great. Because that's the pocketbook issue. Do you think wages are growing fast enough? Do you think, Taylor, wages are growing fast enough?
Wait for it. So what if I hear your wage growth, but I raise you deflation? So wage growth is the story, but if we're getting a massive deflationary wave like we've seen, let's just talk about the PC revolution in the 90s, cloud computing in the 2010s, those lowered core services inflation by 0.1 to 0.3% annually.
Okay.
If we think sort of what we're seeing within the equity markets right now, this cloud revolution, disrupting services, that's stronger than a previous IT shock, right? Maybe 0.1%, maybe 0.4% for core services inflation that lowers it. So if AI replaces labor time 50% of the time, that means headline CPI could be 0.3 to 0.7% lower per year, with software coming in maybe 20% cheaper. But these are large disinflationary, maybe not outright deflation, but disinflationary tailwinds that, yes, I'm totally with you. I think wage growth is key. But if you're getting massive disinflationary, the focus could be more balanced instead of just on wage growth. It could be if this AI disruption is real.
You're talking like Kevin Warsh, which I appreciate because that's his analysis too. But if you get that kind of disinflationary move this year, does that slow down the job market? See, there's always a trade-off with that stuff.
Because we've talked about, right, that these big IT revolutions create different jobs, not zero jobs or negative jobs. I don't know, Dagan. Those are just some of my early thoughts.
Dagan, you were nodding along to Taylor. Not with me, I noticed, but with Taylor. So you can go ahead and get on her side of the argument if you want.
Right, because, well, she's an athlete, and so if you want somebody in your corner.
Thank you, Dagan.
Okay, I'll remember that for later in the show.
Yeah, exactly.
I've got a lot of opportunities to get back at you on that one. We do 2 shows together, Dagan.
She can definitely outrun you.
I'll sneak up when you don't expect it.
I'll talk about this later in the show, but where AI, and I've brought this up before, where we need the massive disinflation and productivity gains, particularly with AI, is in healthcare spending, in the healthcare industry. Because if we don't get that, and that the debt, the federal debt, because of the spending in Medicare and Medicaid, will explode to the point that we will not be able to tackle it any longer. That's the hope. But, and the kind of AI companies have not really, Claude, OpenAI, and their ilk, have not really focused on that yet. I'll get into that further. But one issue is that hopefully we get CPI out tomorrow for the previous month. If inflation does cool more than it is, the Federal Reserve can continue to lower short-term interest rates. And that would, keep, and the longer-term bonds the rates have been in check, which is certainly healthy for people who want a decent priced mortgage. I just wanted to note, though, to make Americans feel better, I keep harping on credit card rates need to be lowered. It's why the president has talked about capping them. That's an extreme measure, but it's in his own way, the president taking aim at all of the banks and credit card companies to say, you either do it the easy way or we're going to do it the hard way. And Peter Navarro, this morning.
He did it just for you. He called out your favorite firm, Dagan.
Praise be. Peter and I have had exchanged words in history, particularly over tariffs. But he said, the trade advisor, on a radio interview this morning, Jamie Dimon, lower your friggin' credit card interest rates. You are a criminal the way you charge the American people at 22, 25, and 30%. And the president wants you to lower that. Jamie, until you do that, please refrain from commenting on other public policies.
Ooh.
And it's not just J.P. Morgan. The spread over prime is egregious. It is near a record. It was almost 15 percentage points over prime as of a year ago. It's maybe closer to 13 percentage points over prime, but there is no reason in a right world that, given the default rate, that
You think he's going to listen to Navarro? You think he's going to listen or dig in his heels, though, Dagan?
I think that they need to start acting, or they'll sick Elizabeth Warren on them. Be careful.
Yeah,